How would you like to be remembered?
As someone honest.
So right there is the one question that every prominent man gets asked in every interview. How would you like to be remembered? And for some reason, I've always found this question so intriguing because for the most part, it highlights our misunderstanding of life and how because of that we get to focus on the wrong things, or how we get to place more emphasis on the banal things of life. You see, we for the most part, we are tempted to think we are more important than we truly are. And not just that, we think we are so important to the point where we think even when we are dead and gone, we will be remembered for some reason. And nothing could be further from the truth. Let me break it down to you. I'm sorry. One, you're not so important. And two, you will not be remembered. Let me ask you a basic question. What memory do you have of any of your great grandparents who were probably dead before you were born? Probably none. And that just highlights the reality of life, that one, we are not as important as we may think we are. And two, we have forgotten a lot faster after we are dead and gone than we might actually imagine. Get to think of it, hundreds of thousands of people pass on a daily basis, but the world moves on like ever before, like nothing happened. And it would be pure naivety to think your situation will be different. No, you may be of great importance to your family and to some degree of importance to your community. But believe you me, that's about it. That's how much you're known to the world. You're known within this very limited geographical location. That's the most enough you. And you pass on and you will definitely be remembered by these people. This handful of people who know you, they will definitely remember you for a while, for a very, very short while. And then memories of you will be gone, and probably your family might have to remember you, let's say, for a generation or two. They might get to remember you for a few decades, but that's just your family. And that's about it. And before you know it, as the generations pass by, the memories fade away of the generations. Personally, I have no memory of any of my great-grandparents. Nada. Nothing. And of my grandparents, I was born at a time when I had just one living grandparent, my maternal grandmother, who passed on sometime in 2016. Yeah, 2016-17. That was the only grandparent I met. I heard stories of my other grandparents, and that's about it. Now I have absolutely zero memories of all my great-grandparents, nothing. And so their memories have faded away. It faded away with their children and probably their grandchildren. And by the time us as great-grandchildren were born, these memories were completely buried under the sand. Now you have a few very famous people, let's say celebrities and politicians and all that, who we read about in history. Okay, those people are remembered for a much longer period of time, let's say a few hundred years, right? Now, but when you put a few hundred years on a time frame of time, T, you realize it's nothing. It feels like 2 seconds. It doesn't really matter. And one other really very important question we ought to be asking ourselves is, what significance really does it have being remembered? How does it serve humankind being remembered? For what? I mean, if you really get to think about it deeply, you will realize that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the current world in any way, shape, or form. And so, I think what we ought to be focusing on is how we lead our lives. What impact does your life have on society, have on humankind? As you go about your daily life on a day-to-day basis. You see, to me, I think that's what real legacy really means. The here and now. How much difference you make in the lives of people and in society. while you are alive. That's real legacy, not when you're dead and gone, because nothing of that really matters. So let me use an example of myself. I am an educator, I am a teacher, and every time I walk into a classroom, like I have been doing for so many years, every time I bring a smile to a kid's face, every time I impart knowledge, which I know will benefit this child and society somehow, I am proud and my soul smiles, because that's a difference I'm making in society. And even when I'll be long gone, this knowledge will stick around. These happy moments I let the kids experience, this knowledge I leave with the kids will never die. It will stick with the kids, and it will affect how they get to live their lives, and the fact that they get to lead better lives, because the ones was a teacher called K who taught them right is the legacy I leave. It's my legacy, and that's all we really should be focused on. Let the way you lead your life and the positive impact you leave in the lives of others and your contributions to society be your focus and be your legacy, because nothing matters the moment we sign out. Nothing matters. Nothing. Prioritize this moment and make it meaningful. Have a good one.